Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Just waiting for the numbers to increase. We are just waiting for the numbers to increase. We're waiting for people to join, and we will start today's episode. We are going to start today's episode. It's a very interesting episode. Obviously, it's referring to the video that I released earlier on, which was on why poverty actually increasing in South Africa, because many people don't know this, but poverty amongst white people is going sky high, right? It's sky high, and that is a truth that, well, the government is refusing to acknowledge. It's Many people are refusing to acknowledge. Many people live with this facade that somehow white people have got millions or billions and billions of rands in the coffers. Somehow white people only have the land. That's the belief, and it's a false belief that many people have. It's false, and I'm here just to sort of respond to some of the comments, as well as to educate some people and to release certain new things that perhaps were not known before this video or before the video that I posted earlier on. Please do check that video out as soon as we're done with the live. That video, basically, like I said, was touching on white poverty that is increasing. So a couple of people sent me emails, messages, blah, 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 blah. Some acquaintances from the left side of the world, therefore I'm referring to the communists, sent me messages saying, Kuhle, this is not true. What you're saying is false. In fact, white people are not even struggling. That's what the communists were saying to me. And I rebutted that statement to say that is actually quite false. Because, well, let's take a look at, well, Stats SA, and understand the stats that come from Stats SA and those that also do come from Solidarity and the stats that come from, pardon me, Free Market Foundation. So now you'll remember that according to Stats SA in the year 2011, right? Now you've got to think about 14 years ago. According to Stats SA, 0.9% of white South Africans lived below the poverty line, right? Which is roughly basically saying you are earning 780 Rand a month. I mean, trust me, anyone that earns less than 3,000 Rand a month is just poor. But, this is the poverty line. It's about 780 Rand a month. Now, back then, Stats SA was comparing that to 63.2% of Black Africans, right? Saying that was the poverty amongst Black people. That's a say, by the way, and I should actually don't know if I can pin the article onto this live that we're doing. Now, not to say that I agree or I like stats that says stats, but it's just to say let us break down the logic, because I think logic is very important when we discuss such things. So if you saw the video that I did earlier on today, I said that they were about 80 informal settlements that were largely housed by white people just in Pretoria alone. And I just want to rebuff Stats SA's stats that I, for one, don't think were really true. I don't believe them to be true because, for me, 80 informal white settlements in one city, being Pretoria, does not equal 0.9% of the white population. I did maths in school, I did maths in varsity, and I can assure you it doesn't. Now, I happened to be in a council sitting a few weeks ago in the city of Johannesburg, where the mayor, Dada Morero, the very short guy that needs a box to stand on in order for us to see him, actually, came out and said that they are about 330 informal settlements in the city of Johannesburg, right? 330 informal settlements in the city of Johannesburg, and that's 330 in total. Now, obviously, remember that the city of Tshwane, being Pretoria, is smaller than COJ, city of Johannesburg, but there are 80 white informal settlements. Now, I just want to break down the maths for you, right? I just really want to break down the maths so that you can understand where is Kuhle going with this logic. Now, let's say Pretoria has got 250 informal settlements, right? Because it's smaller than Johannesburg, which has got 330 confirmed informal settlements. By the way, apparently COJ had about during apartheid days, COJ had about 30 informal settlements, right? That was during apartheid. Now they're about 330. So congrats, ANC. That is, I don't know, is that a 3,000 or 30,000% increase? I don't know. I've not done the maths, but congrats to the ANC for making people a lot more poorer. But going back to the point, now let's crunch the maths. Very important maths. 80 informal white settlements just in Pretoria alone. Let's round it up and say that, and that those are real figures, by the way. They're 80 plus, those are confirmed figures. Now, let's say Pretoria alone has got about 200 informal settlements in total. In total. Hear me out. So that is counting Plastic View, counting, you know, Winterveld in Pretoria North, counting many places that are informal settlements, not townships. That would mean that white South Africans account for close to 40% of the informal settlements in Pretoria. That is a huge number. That is a huge, huge number. It's a huge number. And it's a disgusting number that the ANC is not ready to admit. Now, going back to my argument of, you know, why it came to my mind and why it bothers my mind so much is, well, and I'm speaking from knowing this very well, is majority of black South Africans, now, i.e., black South Africans, don't stay in informal settlements. Majority. Majority of black South Africans stay in townships, which is obviously better than informal settlement, because that's where the RDPs are, that's where the township bond houses are, you know, that's just where at least there's some bit of economic activity. It's not a shanty town. And majority of informal settlements in South Africa, right, when it comes to black people, are largely made up by foreign nationals, who most of the time tend to be illegal foreign nationals that came to South Africa illegally, right? So basically, it would mean that there are more white people that stay in informal settlements, white South Africans that stay in informal settlements, than they are black South Africans that live in informal settlements. Thus, I refuse Stats SA's stats to say that, well, you know what, this country has got, you know, only 0.9% poor white people. It's a lie. It's a flat out lie. It's not true. And I'm telling you, it's not true because I did the maths. And if you want proof to show you that it's not true, let me just share my screen with you. If you have to just pardon me, let me just share my screen quickly. Just need to move camera. Just want to check where's my share screen option. Can I share my screen? Just want to, you're gonna have to pardon me, guys. I just want to share the screen with you. Just pardon me a bit, please, please, please. Just want to give you guys some stats. That's why I'm sharing the screen. There we go. Okay, cool. So I've shared the screen. So I just had to move the cam out of the way so that at least you guys can see this. So this is from Business Tech back in 2016, right? Someone in the comments today also told me that, well, you know, there are only less than 50,000 poor white South Africans. Even this 400,000 is not true, but let's just read it because, well, it's the closest to the truth you'll get out there. So 400,000 poor whites in South Africa, a myth, according to Africa Check. So with a picture spread, you know, the UK Mail Online documented the squalid conditions of South African white squatter camps earlier this year. That was in 2016, before there were even 80 in Pretoria alone. This is a white squatter camp, as you can see. There you go. You can look at the dire situation that people live in that squatter camp. It's for all to see, and it's an unfortunate situation that, well, the ANC is not ready to admit. So let's go down a little bit. Well, you see, the first picture shows a white woman sitting on a makeshift bench below the tiny window of a corrugated iron. Cool. This is just a lot of fluff. I won't go through that. But let's look at the three different degrees of poverty, according to Africa Check, a pro-communist news site. So Africa Check tweeted the journalist who wrote the story and emailed the Mail Online's editor, but did not get a reply. Yeah, so cool. The article said that those living in squalid conditions are forced to survive on around 28.99 pounds a month, right? Which is about 630 rand. Okay. South Africa's National Statistics Agency, Stats SA, has three absolute poverty lines which capture different degrees of poverty, according to a lecturer at the Stellenbosch at the University of Stellenbosch, at Stellenbosch University rather. So how poverty is measured. Let's look through this together. The figure used by the Mail Online of about 630 rand does not reflect South Africa's current national poverty lines, which were rebased last year. The highest poverty line is the upper poverty line. It is currently at 780 rand per person, which is 2011 prices. Remember, the article is from 2016. Um, Below this level, someone will have to sacrifice buying essential food in order to afford basic non-food needs like shelter, educational, stuff, or vice versa. And then it goes on and on and on. I won't go through the fluff, but here's a very important number that I want to touch on is the 42,115 white people. That is a very wow. I don't want to call it a precise number. I don't want to call it because it's clearly not a precise number. I've never in my life, right, come across stats that even go so specific to say 42,115. That is bloody accurate. I'm not saying I'm being sarcastic, by the way. What I'm trying to say is, did they go and count all these people? You know, like, did they actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Because usually stats will just say 40,000 or 50,000. But it looks like this media outlet, went through the difficult part for us and counted every single, according to them, poor white person in South Africa. And they said, no, it's not 400,000. You are lying, business tech. And it's business tech saying 400,000. You are lying, business tech. You are lying, Mail and Guardian from the UK. You are lying. In fact, the number's 42,115. Shocking. It's shocking. You can't make these things up. You really can't make these things up. That is the pro-communist media that we have in South Africa. Now, let's look at the population, right? Now, this is, like I said, these are old stats, right? Very old stats. A lot has changed since then. There are a lot more poor white people, a lot more rich entrepreneurs. So some of these numbers aren't so accurate. Now, there's some assumption that, white people have got the lowest number of poverty, um, you know, followed by Indians with 87,000, which is a lie. For a guy like myself who spends a lot of time in KZN, gosh, I've seen a lot of poor Indians. Colored people, 1.676 million, debatable. And then you've got black people at 25 million. And, well, the big question is whether if this was true or not, these numbers, black people should ask themselves, why has the ANC failed on them? And why the hell do they keep voting for the ANC? I mean, you can't tell me that in 30 years, this number is still sitting northward of 20 million, right? this number is still sitting north of 20 million, and then this is a lie. This is just a lie, outright lie. Because 42,000 does not even make half the seats at FNB Stadium. And you want me to believe that those are all the poor white people in South Africa, which is a lie. But nonetheless, I've got something that I want to show you, which I found interesting this past few days, which I think you guys will also find interesting. Please do watch this very carefully. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, please, like I said, stick to just watching and be patient with what I'm about to show you. I'm not going to show you the full video. It's going to be like 2 minutes of the video, just so that you can get an understanding of white squatter camps and how people live in white squatter camps. So just need to uh, get the video for you. There it is. I've got the video. I just want to share my screen with you guys so that you can see the video for yourselves. Where is Riverside so I can share the screen? I'm gonna move the camera again. You're gonna have to forgive me. Get used to this just while I move the webcam quickly. Because I just want to share the video. I'll tell you now if this is the video. If that is the video. I'm sharing it. There we go. Please listen to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, also please just tell me if you can hear the video, because sometimes I know people complain about not being able to hear the video. So please tell me if you can hear the video. Can someone in the comments just tell me if they can hear the video? Just hoping that you guys can hear the video. Please, someone in the comments tell me that you can hear the video. Hi, Carmen. Wait, just question. Just hold on, guys. A sec. Is the video like, can you guys see the video? Can I just get a thumbs up of just pause the video on my end? Can you see the video on your side? Can just someone tell me if they can see the video? Because I discovered that people can hear it. Because I don't want to waste time not knowing, because, well, obviously I'm not watching from my side. Can someone tell me that they can see the video? Waiting in the comments. Okay, okay. So Carmen says that she can see it, but she can hear me only. Let me just rectify that quickly. Thank you. Um, let's try that again. Now, just hold for me. Wait.
We're going to see for the children. We're going to see for the children. We're going to try and stick to the best with what we've got. Usually we can see about we've got. Rice and then a little bit of meat and sauce.
Mm.
No, this is the luxury for them. They don't know this is the luxury for them. They don't know this is the luxury.
Hold for me. I can hear it on my side now as well. Just hold for me, guys. Just want to try and mute this nonsense here. Pardon me. I've paused the video. Yes, I've paused the video. I just want to deal with the sound here because I hear an echoing sound, which is not good. Gosh, how do I stop this? Well, let's try again. Let's try again.
They say.
Let's try again.
They say.
Let's try again.
They say.
Let's try.
That means first. Despite the communist
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been. Thank you. So I can see Stinky the squid not going well. Yes, I'm trying to turn off my mic, and I can see. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, okay, there's many messages. Okay. I can see. Okay, I don't know how we're going to play this video. But this was such an important video to play for you guys. Just pardon me. I just want to sort out this video that is irritating me. Hang on. Okay, I think I got it, guys. I think I've got it. Hang on. I just think I've got it now. I realized what I need to do. I was the one that was slow. We're going to start this just now. Hang on, I just want to share the screen. And then I realized I was muting the wrong microphone because that was the trick. Yeah, silly me. But there we go. We've got it now. And I'm going to mute my microphone on this side. So forgive me.
So what's going on? What's going on is reverse apartheid.
On the southern tip of the African continent, this country has long been famous for its racist regime. Apartheid 50s Africa. In the 50s, this white minority enforced extremely strict laws to oppress the black majority. People of color were forced out of city centers and penned into huge ghettos. They were seen as lower-class citizens who didn't have the right to vote or the right to move freely in the country. This regime lasted until the start of the 90s. In 1994, Nelson Mandela's rise to power brought significant hope of a reconciliation.
Never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
A new South Africa was born. It opened up to the world. Today, millions of tourists come to discover the beauty of its landscapes and its natural resources. But behind the picture-perfect appearance, 95% of people of color are still waiting for change. More than half of the country's 55 million inhabitants live under the poverty line. It has one of the highest crime rates in the world. In the city of Cape Town alone, there's an average of 7 murders a day, and no one's safe. This state of social distress
Yeah.
Words to me was, sorry, Mr. Kutsie, you are white. You haven't got a job.
In South Africa, law states that from now on, companies must hire people of colour as a priority. The consequence is that, just like Andre and his wife, many white people have found themselves without jobs. In this country, where benefits are practically non-existent, the downfall is brutal. The couple live in this corrugated iron house with a clay floor and struggle to have enough to eat.
So I'm going to make curry and rice now. I'm going to cook curry and rice for you guys, all of you.
Remember me? I'm very hungry.
Okay.
You know, me?
First time you're going to cook for us.
I did. The other day I made pap and sauce and wors.
So it was you. No wonder it was so nice.
Once a week, Lee provides them with a generous lunch. For many of them, it'll be their only meal all day.
Is jy honger? Ja.
Well, how many people are you doing cooking?
Well, we're going to see for the children, let the children eat first. I'm going to try and stretch it as best I can with what we've got. But usually I can feed about 50 to 100. Rice and then with the little bit of meat and sauce.
And they're like eating meat every day?
No, this is a luxury for them. They don't eat meat every day. Jaden is going for his birthday now. He wants more. Yeah.
The organization also provides them with food supplies, but as often happens, the distribution of it is interrupted by some uninvited guests. These men and women, who have come from a neighbouring shanty town, are members of a radical political party. Their hats bear the initials EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. It's a movement whose aim is to give back the country's riches to black people. They say they have come in peace.
That means we are one. Despite the color, the blood is one, and then we should take care of one another.
During this stirring speech, other members of the group take advantage of the distraction and steal some of the food. And they're not afraid to show off their loot.
They just came in here and took the poor people's food. You saw. We all saw it. He saw it. But yet we must not say a word because they are the ones that are previously disadvantaged. So it is owed to them. And we have to do restitution.
You say it's the same as us. We are one blood, we are all the same together.
You are an international journalist, my darling. He'll say that. It's politically correct. They'll never, ever admit on camera what's going on. Never.
So what's going on?
What's going on is reverse apartheid.
On the southern tip of the African continent, this country has long been famous for its racist regime, apartheid. In the 50s, Afrikaners, descendants.
Well, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, there we go. I'll fix the sound. Thank you. I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to lives. I'm getting used to it. So there you can see racist regime happening right before your eyes. I hope you saw that video. I just hope you saw that video. I hope you can see that while Kuhle does not make things up, you know, that I'm not sitting somewhere in my comfortable chair just cooking lies for you and wanting to feed you, nonsense. No, white poverty is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. White poverty is a real thing. And the ANC evil communist government is not ready to address it. They are not even close to ready to have that honest conversation that You know, this is happening. You saw those EFF members, which are, by the way, black people, unfortunately, stealing from poor white people. You saw it. You saw it. I'm not making it up. I'm not, sitting here trying to be clickbait. No, it's what's happening. I showed you the video. You saw it with your eyes. If you would like me, I'll even pin the video for you on my posts. Because half the time people always ask me, Kuhle, where do you get these things that you talk about? And I've just shown you where I get these things that I talk about. This is the unfortunate, dire condition that white South Africans are being subjected to in South Africa. It's unfortunate. It's happening. You know, I'm not sure if you saw the gentleman, in the beginning that said, what do you call it? That spoke about basically not having a job because, he's white. They literally he said that he lost his job because they said, look, you're white and the company is now in the process. We require, to have black people take up that job. Despite all his years, I mean, look at how old the gentleman is. He lives in a shack that has got no food. The cats are roaming around. There's tin stuff on the floor. It's untidy. You can see it's a situation where people are losing hope so quickly. There is no hope for this person, right? And the government still makes you believe that, somehow white people are the devil, you know? That's the South African government for you. And well, while we're at it, let me also just play another video for you. I just hope my microphone will connect because it's reconnecting on my side. So I just need to wait for this reconnecting thing to go so I can switch off my microphone and share this with you. I want you just to see it for yourself. Um, I'm switching off my mic. Just hang on, please.
Popular politician in This state of social distress is fueled by this is the most popular politician in the country.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hang on. Just need to sort out. Well, some people are complaining about the sound, but just need to say that that is the level of, sheer disgusting racism that is going on in South Africa, right? White people, unfortunately, bearing the brunt for, things that happened over 400 years ago, if you speak of colonization, right? I would hate being blamed for a sin that I committed 3 years ago. Like, honestly, guys, it's been 30 years of democracy, but somehow our country functions like, a state from 200 years ago where race is still the big issue. And there's no moving forward for South Africa, honestly. There's absolutely no moving forward for South Africa. It's disgusting to see what is going on in this country. It's pathetic. It's a shame. I mean, you've got people stealing food that belongs to, poor people, right? The food, you literally saw EFF members walking into a white squatter camp and stealing food. Now, just imagine if it was white poor people walking into a black township and stealing food. Trust me, the stories would be very different. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. You honestly can't. That is the pathetic ANC for you. But as I was saying, that is the pathetic ANC for you. We really have got to deal with this nonsense that is going on in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. My network is hovering in and out. Well, someone says, get yourself some Starlink. Definitely. Hopefully on the next US envoy or the South African envoy to the US, hopefully, somehow we'll be getting Starlink, because unfortunately, unfortunately, this is the connection that I've got to deal with. It's Telkom Wi-Fi, guys, by the way. It's Telkom Wi-Fi. I don't know, perhaps I should get fiber or something. But I use Telkom Wi-Fi and Vodacom. And I don't know why is the connection bad, especially when I shoot lives. always when I shoot lives, the connection is bad, it's terrible. But when I record, well, it seems fine. So, I mean, I just want to go through some of this video because there are so many things in this documentary, right? And that I'll pin down that speaks about white poverty in South Africa. That obviously, I'm not able to get the timestamps quite accurately because for obvious reasons, I can't use YouTube directly because of copyrights issues, right? So obviously that's one of the reasons I can't use YouTube directly. So bear with me at times when I do take time to like search through, the content, like just to like sift through the content. Just bear with me and understand that I'm really just trying to, yeah. So